Your channel. I'm here. And I'm going to turn this down. Okay, if anybody starts watching and could let me know if you can hear me. Let me see. I'm going to turn this down. Yep. You can hear me. Sweet. Okay, let's do some scans. Let's do some scans now that we got job numbers. S&P. Oh, come on. Texas Instruments. Woo. I know there's more in that damn notes file than this. Oh no, I guess not. That's it. Scans. Oh, stop pulling that up. TXN. That's Texas Instruments. Wow, that one's been beaten down. Brokerage holdings. XOM, Oxy, TER. Since these are ones that I hold, you guys get to benefit from that. TER, this is not owned. That is Teradyne. I do own Teradyne. Pins, which is an interesting one. Has that gap been filled? 24.45. Yeah, it's been filled. DVR. Boyle. AMAT. I like AMAT. AMAT. KLAC, which is KLA. Good morning, Zephin. Good early morning to you. Oxy. Oxy had that cross up, man. That one's just strong. Let's see. We'll do all ARC holdings because I think DocuSign passed up. Oh, fuck. The English Prime Minister's resigning. Wow. That's like 3 weeks. This woman is as nutty as she was built up to be. Wow. Teradyne Onvo. Organovo. I don't like that one. Okay. Wow. 7 weeks. 7 weeks. Damn. Imagine being in your job 7 weeks and being told, hey, you're not good enough for us. There's nothing in the Dow. Let me do the NASDAQ because the NASDAQ should have had some. Marvel Technologies. I like that one. MRVL. That is a chip maker. MCHP. Microchip. TXN. Texas Instruments. We got that one. DLTR. Dollar Tree. Man, has that been beaten up enough to where it's going to go back to the 160s? I don't know. If we go into a recession, that's a nice one, but KLA and AMAT. I think I'm going to stick with what I got. Wow. And now the markets are down. Wow. Whew. Talk about instability. Everybody called for her to resign. I just never thought she would. Wow. Okay. Oh, I got to turn this down. B gain needs to be down. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, I sound good. There we go. Let me get over to the... Oh, got it. Boom, boom. Okay. Applied materials. I think I have AMAT in that list, do I? Yeah. Okay. Put that over there. Oh, Instagram. You guys wrote me on Instagram. I got to look at my Instagram because there were quite a few messages on Instagram. Let me go switch over and look at these. Alexis, you sent me a voice message, but I'm not going to look and listen to it right now. I will listen to it later. I don't want to put you on blast here. Going over tickers today. Really appreciate your insight on them. Ended up, Corey, good call on Shell. Also, I know it's impossible, but what price do you think? We'll look at SOXL. SOXL for Corey. We'll look at that one. Do not buy. Do not buy and hold until 2025 because it's a decaying asset by a chip maker like NVIDIA, AMD, or Qualcomm instead. Okay, that's my... By the way, if anyone's listening, so here's what Corey said, and I'll bring it up on the podcast too. Where would SOXL be in 2025? I'll do it here. Here's a prelude to the podcast. SOXL is a decaying asset. Do not buy a decaying asset. This actually holds nothing. It's a levered ETF that is basically used for trading. It's not based on, hey, we're going to buy and hold this one. So fine on trading it. Just don't do it. I have what I hope is a better request for analysis. Adobe. Jordy, I'm going to do Adobe too. Okay, let's see. Jordy on Insta. Adobe and PKG. Info taken from eToro earnings. Season is coming up October 24th. Okay, I'm going to more copy, and I'm going to paste this into the notes. There we go. Okay. So I'll bring up the notes. I'm on Do Not Disturb, I believe. Yeah, I have Do Not Disturb on, so. Okay, we'll start the podcast. Anybody listening on YouTube Live, hit me up with symbols or something. I got a lot. As Frank Costanza says during Festivus, I got a lot of things to bring up. Generac was slammed. Okay. Good morning. It is Thursday, October 20th. Let me turn down the TV. I was just listening to the shocking news. After 7 weeks, the Prime Minister of England resigns. This lady was a wacko. She was a wacko from the start. If you watched John Oliver Last Week Tonight on HBO, when she came into power, he mentioned she's an absolute disaster. And she turned out to be an absolute disaster. Look at what she did. The Bank of England had to step in when she announced tax cuts for the rich. Shit like that doesn't go over in England very well. So 7 weeks in, this is basically like 7 weeks in, our president saying, you know what, I led you wrong. I'm going to resign, go and hire somebody else. That's how shocking this is. I mean, honest to God, I'm lost. Let's go over. I'm going to go down my notes just from top to bottom because, like I said, I got a lot of things to bring up. One thing I wanted to bring up because it was brought up by a listener, I forget who, but Generac, and this is the danger of trying to time and price the market. Generac Holdings, which is the generator company, which is backup generators for your house. Hold on, I need water. Generac pre-announced before their earnings. Their earnings are set to come out November 1st. They said, hey, we're going to lose a ton of money, and we're going to lose a lot. Well, it was down. Did it gap down? I think there's a gap here. I just can't see it. It's outside the Bollinger Bands on the bottom. It's down at 110. The buy-in, it was ironic because 2 days ago, we had a MACD cross up at 147. It's trading at 110 right now. You can do your own research. This is one that has been sliding down. My guess is that it will continue to slide down. That MACD is going to move pretty aggressively down. The RSI is at 20. Back on September 22nd, it was at 15. This is gap down continually. There's no reason to buy this right now, but it's one to keep an eye on. And the reason you keep an eye on it is they are a decent company. It's just they ran into the same thing that a lot of people have, and they've talked about permitting being an issue and other things. So do your research, but understand that this is a company you don't want to touch right now. And even though it's been beaten down, and I always say any reaction is an overreaction in the market, when they bring up fundamental problems, revenue, installations, operations, when they bring up fundamental problems like that, you don't want to touch it. It's different. Just for a comparison, Target and Walmart both said, hey, we've got inventory issues. Well, they've gotten rid of their inventory issues and they're on the way back up. There's a gap in Target that you can see clearly here. I'd say the 156 buy-in point, I think that's a great point because the 200-day has been used as a resistance level. But you're seeing yesterday that the candles are starting to break through. A sustained breakthrough on Target would indicate to me, yeah, go all in. Because then it's going to use the 200-day as support rather than resistance. Right now, I would absolutely buy Target at 156. I own Target. I have $20,000, $30,000 worth of it. I think at 111. So I'm in there. So let's continue down on my notes. But Generac is one. It got slammed with their pre-announcement before earnings. There was a person on yesterday, and I'm sorry. I think it was Joe Terranova on CNBC. He said he was talking to commodity traders. And one of the things that really stuck in his head, he said, was oil seems to be the only commodity, and this was from a lot of his people that said, hey, we trade commodities, and what we're seeing in the commodities market, this was the thing that stuck in his head throughout all of his discussions with the commodity traders, not just one, but traders. Oil seems to be the only commodity that's really driving forward. Natural gas seems to be pulling back, but oil consistently, they're hearing that they have this supply-demand component that will push it up. So he was saying, hey, continue to get into oil, continue to do what you want, do what you can to try and invest in oil. Now, Exxon got an upgrade yesterday. I talked about there's no way I think it hits the 52-week high of 105. I think it hits the 52-week high of 105. I was wrong. This has all the confirmation in the world right now. I think the price target that they put on it was 120. Their earnings are coming up. I was thinking of selling because I saw the button hook. Trust in the algorithm. The algorithm didn't get you out. So you've got a buy-in here on September 29th at $88 on Exxon. Fantastic freaking move. All the other energies look exactly the same. We can bring up Oxy, which indirectly has a MACD cross-up. So it's a double cross-up. You've got a MACD cross-up. That you can see the MACD on Oxy. It's just kind of flat. I said yesterday, not sure. But there's an upward movement in this. It's not quite above the 9-day, but if it closes up today, you should be above the 9-day. My personal opinion, if it hits that 70 mark, I think we've got more room to go up. Their earnings are coming up on November 8th. When we look at Devon, this is another one of mine. Devon Energy is up 1% at 72. This one is above the 9-day right now. If we take a leg down, it might be below the 9-day, but it's above the 9-day. The gap below still worries me. But right now, oil has a supply-demand issue. Yesterday, what we saw when the market went down, the market is moving in line with bonds. So when bonds move up, the market moves down. When bonds move down, the markets move up. It's for the last month, 2 months, 3 months, probably since January, to be honest. That's the way it's been, but it's even more kind of, correlated at this point in time. I got a voice message, and I'm just going top to bottom, by the way, on my notes. But I got a voice message from Justin on the Anchor app. Justin, thank you for listening, and thank you for sending me this one. ABML, American Battery Recycler, ABTC, I think is the symbol. American Battery Technology, ABML. That's the symbol. He wanted me to look at this one. This is probably this one is probably a trade. I don't know that it's necessarily a buy and hold. Let me see. This might be one of the retail traders. I can't even find it it's not even on Finviz. Battery. Yeah, it's not even on Finviz. So I can't look up the actual fundamentals on this one. American Battery Technology. You do, ironically, and I say ironically, yesterday, or you had a cross up at 60 cents. 60 cents on the nose. ABML, let's look. In Finviz, or I'm sorry, Active Trader Pro. I'm going to move to Active Trader Pro so you can see it. All right. Boy, yesterday's 60-cent move. Wow. Today it's at 70 cents. It's trading at 72 cents right now. That's a big move. It's a big, big move. Since I can't look it up on Finviz, I can't look up the fundamentals. I will tell you the chart looks ugly. This looks like a falling knife. What happens with a lot of these, and this has, since it's a battery recycling company, what happens with a lot of these is it gets a lot of retail attention. And when retail gets in on it, these things, when they get under $1, they move. And you can see when I look at a daily and we go all the way back here, the chart it's downward. It's not downward a ton because it never really went up. February 2021 was where it kind of shot up from 69 cents all the way up to $3.50. And then it's just been in decline since then. And you can clearly see the decline on the daily. When you zoom in a little bit, the average period moves about 6%. So it's a great trading stock. I say that because if you look at over 1,000 candles, you've got 27 positions. Your wins are 30%. But if you win 30% of them, your average win is 247%. So when you run this algorithm and you get an ironic, cross up here at 60 cents, doesn't mean that you're going to win on the algorithm, because I think the algorithm, you even look back here, August 3rd, 70 cents right here. It ran all the way up to 89.90, but it got you out with a 10% here at 77 cents. But you had plenty of time. What's that, 3-4 days? So I don't know. This one looks interesting in that yesterday's candle alone, the afternoon candle, 16% during the period. Your low was 57 cents. Your high was 73 cents. So I think you look at, obviously you've gotten this from probably some type of retail trading thing, because I see the 10-day volume is 2 million shares, 90-day volume is 1.4 million. So you have the volume on there. It doesn't have an earnings. It's a micro cap. This is a super small company, only $449 million in market cap. The day range yesterday was 50 cents to 73 cents. It's got the upward trajectory right now on a 1-minute chart. I would say it doesn't have a sustained run right now, but it's still within those Bollinger Bands. On a 5-minute chart, you're just hitting the 9-day, but you've got confirmation above the 21-day. So since I can't look up the fundamentals, I can't tell you, hey, this is a great stock to buy. But trading-wise, looks freaking brilliant. Trade it all you can, Justin. Make sure you're trading on Active Trader Pro. I use the Bollinger Bands and 9-day at 21 and the VWAP. If you log on to Active Trader Pro, maybe I'll do some live trading of this one after I record the podcast. Tesla earnings. Tesla, it was a miss on revenues, a beat earnings per share. The key point for Tesla was margins. And their margins slipped from 28% to 26.8%. So the stock went down. The buyback wasn't announced. Elon tweeted out that he's behind Tesla 100% right before the earnings. So there was kind of a thought process that, it's not going to be what the street expected. So the stock live right now, let's see where it's at. I think, I can even tell in Active Trader Pro because it's TrendSpider. It's at 208. I've kind of said, hey, when I looked at the daily on this one, I think it was the daily, there's a gap here, and I think I took out my, see this gap here, and it goes all the way back to December of 2020. But it's at 146. You can clearly see that we still don't, on the daily, have any confirmation above the 9-day. So when the new candle comes up, you're going to be down here, which is even further below the 9-day. But you're hugging that Bollinger Band. You're getting that kind of capitulation, and it's moving forward. But then you've got this move down. So depending where we close out today is going to tell me, okay, where is the trend on this one? Because that 200-day is moving down. But do we move up to cover this gap at 250? Or do we move down to cover that gap at 140? I just don't think that you've got too much positivity in this stock. Las Vegas Sands. Let's say Sands. Las Vegas Sands, LVS. This is one, they beat on revenues, but earnings per share were down. And the reason their earnings per share were down because they have a ton of debt. And servicing that debt as interest rate goes up, Anthony Scaramucci just tweeted out, Liz Truss lasted 4.1 Scaramucci's, because Scaramucci, I think he resigned after 1 week or 3 days after being Trump's press secretary. But Las Vegas Sands, it's based on Macau. You're going to see this one pop when China says, hey, Macau's fully open. Because every one of their other properties popped. And during a recession, casinos can be a fairly good play. You've got gaps. You can see you've got gaps all over this one. This is a 4-hour chart. You got gaps up here at 41. You're trading at 35. You've got gaps up here that haven't been filled, 38 to 41. You've got gaps down here at 29. but those Bollinger Bands just opened up and we're moving down. And so I wanted to bring this up just because casino stocks have been rather hot. You can see the move up from here, from 29 from June, all the way up to the 40s. And you even had this recent run up here in the beginning of October from about 38 to 42. I'm not a big fan of this one, but I will tell you, once Macau opens, I think Las Vegas Sands moves. Somebody, I forget who it was, but it was somebody on YouTube brought up IBM. And I think it may have been Zephyr, but it might have been someone else. But IBM is one. I said, hey, hold into earnings. Well, they beat. They didn't blow it out of the water, but they beat. And let's see where we're trading at. IBM. I'm glad I told you to hold on to it. But it's still it's just a boring tech company. So after hours, they closed at 122. They're trading at 128 right now. You've got that buy-in here at 121. I would probably hold on to this one. My guess is that you'll get up to probably 120. You're going to use that 200-day as resistance. You can see the last time it broke over the 200-day in August, it couldn't even hold the 200-day. So you've got this gap up here. You may be going to 137, but you've definitely got you're range bound. And you're range bound on the downside, which means that the upside, there's just not a lot of upside here. Not a lot whatsoever. If I go to, let's go to a weekly. IBM's a long time traded stock. If you've held it since 2022 or 2016, you haven't made any money other than the dividend. Dividend's decent. I think it's got a 5% dividend. Let's see. And that dividend has been safe. Yeah, 5.39. So hasn't been a horrible thing to hold. It's held its value. But, you know, with you guys being younger, there's no reason to hold something with a 5% dividend yield without any capital growth right there. So Lam Research, LRCX. This is an interesting one because these are chip makers as well. LRCX. Let me look at FinViz so you can see the actual description of what they do. Designs, manufacturers, refurbishes, and services semiconductor processing equipment and the fabrication of integrated circuits. They've got a PE of 10. I think this is ABML or something. No, ABML is the battery one. I forget the other one that reported the day before. But both of them have produced really good results. This one, I think it was up pre-market. CX. Let's see. Here we go. You're up. I mean, it closed at 330. You're up at 331, so it's not flying. But the cross up happened. It was 328.55 yesterday, right before earnings on yesterday's candle, 328.55. I don't know that I'd buy this one, but the good news is since they beat, in my mind, that further strengthens the call yesterday I made of SOXL, which the cross up happened at 727. Let's look at SOXL live. It's at 759. So you can see it kind of dipped down here to 738 in the pre-market. It's kind of come back up and it's trading at 760. So it doesn't have a whole hell of a lot of gain, but I think this is one that you could hold on for a couple of weeks and maybe cover these gaps at 10. In my mind, I think, the chip makers have been significantly down. You've got the futures are down right now, and it's just the turmoil that's causing the future down. The market doesn't like a prime minister who resigns, more banking issues over there that may not be able to be covered, so the Bank of England's going to have to step in. There's a lot of problems, but I do see SOXL with that 727. I see that as a good one. Even though the market, I continue to say the market's in a downward trajectory. 727 with that RSI down there. I think you probably put in a stop loss at $7. If it goes from down from $7.58 right now to $7, I'd probably get the hell out of it. wait for a $6 kind of handle, buy in when you have a little bit more market positivity. But I do think that SOXL is the one to buy. At Lam Research or any of the other chips, I'd rather buy this one, which is a triple levered, get some medium term, and then once we're in a sustained long-term uptrend, then I think you can start to buy some of the other names. I personally own AMD. I own AMD. I don't own Qualcomm, even though that's my favorite. I should have bought Qualcomm instead of AMD. Qualcomm had a cross up a couple days ago, I think. Yeah, 111. And you're at 112. You're trading at 112. AMD at a cross up, I think at 55 or maybe 51. No, 50, it looks like 60. 58. I can't read it. But it's like 58. It's trading at 57. NVIDIA is one you could buy. That one's one. Let me address... it was Corey's question, since I'm talking about SOXL. Corey said, where do I think that SOXL will be in 2025? You don't buy SOXL for 2025. And the reason you don't buy SOXL or any of these triple levered is because they're fees and they're trading on futures. So essentially they're trading stock options. And those fees eat into your asset performance. So if you're buying for an investment, all you're buying in SOXL is actually calls and puts. And these guys trade it based on the triple levered moving. And so when a stock goes up, they're buying more calls, more long-term calls, more future calls. And they're essentially moving that needle of that stock so that it moves 3 times. And they can do that just based on buying the options. That's why you don't want to buy these, because they're going to take out a significant amount of your quote-unquote capital in fees. You're better off buying something, just a name, or even buy, just a regular. There's tons of ETFs that will actually buy the actual asset below. Just look up CHIP. I can look it up later. But do not buy SOXL thinking that you're getting an asset. You're not. You're actually getting a decaying asset. It doesn't buy the underlying stocks in the companies. It just buys the options that actually expire. And it does that to triple lever it. It is a trading tool, not an actual buy and hold and own tool. Fundstrat. The guy from Fundstrat, not Tom Lee, but the other dude. I think he's the technician. He said that oil services is the way to. He thinks oil services will outpace the actual oil companies. And so oil services, there's a VanEck Oil Services ETF, OIH. This is the one that he recommended. We had a MACD cross up here on September 30th at 210. This is just like every other oil stock and oil fund. But OIH is a good one. He liked it. The asset performs, if you buy and held it 1,000 candles ago, 157%. The algorithm with 29 positions, 71%. Here's the key. You're winning 40% of the time, and your average win is 15.57%. So the September 30th right here, the cross up, you do have a gap down below, which again, on most of these energy stocks, I continue to say, when you see that button hook, and that's why I get nervous with all of my energy stocks, when you see that button hook and there's a gap below, you should worry. Well, this one has a gap below, doesn't have a button hook. You've got all the confirmation in the world. You had a second MACD cross up here yesterday. So OIH is the symbol. He seemed to like it. He's a technician. He's done a lot more research than I have. You can see if you're watching on YouTube Live, there's a button hook right here, October 6th and 7th. The algorithm did not get you out, continued on. You're above that 9-day. You're trading above that Bollinger Band. It's probably going to settle out. But as long as oil continues its rise up, you should be fine. This is a services. So do your research on it. In fact, let me see if FinViz, I don't think it provides me which stocks are the underlying asset in this one. No, I'd have to go into Fidelity to look at that. There's other places you can go. But this one is up 41% year to date. It's got a 0.69% dividend. So you're not holding it for the dividend. You're not holding it for anything. You're really just looking at it from an asset perspective. American Airlines. Alcoa, which sells and produces aluminum. They lost a ton of money. They announced they lost 33 cents per share. Look at that. The previous, they made $2.67 per share. They lost 33 cents per share. They blamed aluminum's kind of a commodity. They're the ones who were lobbying the Biden administration to ban Russian aluminum. I don't know that I'd necessarily get in on this one. It's a cheap stock, but it's going to open down. Let's see, in Active Trader Pro, it closed yesterday at 37. It's at 34 in pre-market trading. The 52-week high, so you know, was March 25th, $98. This is a commodity. Remember how I told you that commodities were going down? Aluminum, Alcoa is an aluminum company, Basic Materials. Their PE is 7.4. They have a 1% dividend. Year to date, they're down 36%. This is like every other commodity that I've seen. Their ex-dividend date is October 31st, but with that small dividend, I probably wouldn't do it. Now, here's the performance chart. Over 1,000 candles, which again, with 4-hour candles, you're getting 2 candles per day. It's about 2 years. You've made 184% buying and holding. The algorithm's made you 106%. Your average win is 16%. The algorithm doesn't have you in. It just got you out. It got you out right before earnings. You should have sold before earnings, but it doesn't necessarily get you out. It had an 8% win. When this one ticks up, you have a 50-50 chance of actually playing a win. Your average win is 16%. So it makes sense over 500 candles with one that's been beaten down like this. I'll show you kind of the daily. This was one that ran up with the commodities trade. 100% during 2021, during 2022, the beginning of 2022, when you saw commodities going up, this one 100% ran up. And now that we're in higher input costs and inflation, you're seeing it just drop down. And it's a commodity, 100% a commodities play. I wanted to bring it up because it has been beaten down. It's below its 200-day. It's crossed below there. It's going to use that. You can see right in August, it used the 200-day as a resistance level. But it's right in the middle of its Bollinger Bands. I wouldn't expect it to go up. If you go back to COVID, pre-COVID, we're going to have to go back to a weekly to go pre-COVID. Pre-COVID, this was trading at about $20, and it's got a significant volume shelf right there at 20. So it's got a lot longer to go down if it does go down. On the weekly, it used the 200-day as support level. It's kind of bounced off of that. It's at 33. So I think it's still got a ways to go down. It's going to probably go down to a 33 would be my guess. Exxon, XLE, OIH, those were the final trades. We can look at Exxon. I think I looked at this one already. But Exxon, you've got the confirmation up there. It's near its 52 weeks high. If you don't want to pick an energy company and you just want to buy energy, I've kind of mentioned this before. This had a MACD cross up on September 30th at 72, and I told everybody, hey, at 72, buy it. The MACD cross up, you got no reason not to buy energy. When the MACD crosses up, you might lose a little bit, but at the end of the day, you could just buy it and hold it if you wanted to. OIH. Is that the oil services? Yeah, that's the oil services that Fundstrat brought up. That's one of the final trades that they said too. The other final trade that they brought up on the After Hours show last night was Constellation Brands. And Constellation Brands, you had a MACD cross up here at 226. This one is, they've announced their earnings. The dividend date is coming up November 3rd. And the symbol is STZ. And their dividend is 1.43. They're beating the S&P. And that's kind of why I found it interesting is they have been beaten down. There's a bottom here at about 225. I think 220 is the absolute lowest it will go. But you've got a pretty good double top here of 255, which probably is where it goes back to during a good time. And you can see on FinViz, I'm pointing it out, the double top here at 255. You buy this at 223. If it goes down, you don't care because, this is a company that's ran well. It will probably do well going into the fourth quarter. So I like this one. I like this one as a final trade. TQQQ still under 20, I believe. I think it went over 20 yesterday. For a little bit. I know yesterday I said, hey, buy the SQQQ, and it was SQQQ was the call because that one traded like a monster yesterday. TQQQ yesterday's range was $19 to $20, so not quite a 10% move. But you do have TQQQ. It's trading at 1932. I still think that SQQ is probably your trade. I think we got too hot over the first couple of days of this week. And here on Thursday, I think SQQ is your trade. Yesterday's SQQQ traded at between 55 and 58. We were talking when it was down around 55. I said, yeah, this one's trading outside the Bollinger Bands on the low part. I'd probably buy it here. It ran all the way up to 58. So what'd you get? Almost 6, 7, 8%. That was a pretty good call by me. And I was making tomato soup at the time. But yeah, you guys on YouTube really benefit from that one. Sammy Jackson asked, what time do I usually start? It's between 8 and 9, Sammy. I try and come on about 8:30 usually is when I come on. Just so you know, if you guys are looking to listen to me record the podcast while I'm on YouTube Live. So let's run down. Oil's up. UVXY. We did a good, by the way, I wanted to show Active Trader Pro because I wanted to show you, this is what I was talking about. This was where I was talking yesterday. Right after I got done with the podcast, we kind of talked about it on YouTube Live. Right here at about 55, I said, yeah, it's below those Bollinger Bands. I like that one. I almost took the trade, but then I decided, I got to go make some soup. It's cold out. So I went and made soup. But I think somebody took the trade. Maybe Jesse had, maybe somebody else. But I don't exactly know who took the trade, but somebody did. And somebody made some money. Hopefully you got out because remember, I told you, when it gets outside those Bollinger Bands, be careful when it comes back in, take your profits because that's when it's oversold. And you can see that clearly on Active Trader Pro. Let me go back to my notes. UVXY. We talked about UVXY. Why does it not trade with the VIX? The VIX was up yesterday, I think 2 or 3%. I think it got to like 31 or 32, but UVXY wasn't up. And when we looked at it on online, I couldn't find a great explanation, but part of the explanation is it trades on the futures. So while UVXY does trade on volatility, it doesn't move the same way that the VIX does in real time. It trades on the futures of the VIX. So that was a little bit of an explanation as to why it wasn't up as much as the VIX was up. But the VIX, it's hovering around 30. It's not moving. Even though we're getting those big moves in the market, and you should be around 24 with those, 2 and 3% moves in the S&P, it's just not moving. So UVXY, I've kind of taken it off the play. We did have the buy-in here on September 14th at 1041. You've gotten the button hook, but because of the moving averages, my algorithm hasn't gotten you out. So you could have gotten out here with a nice 30% gain at 1341. But it's right at 1236. You've got some gaps up You do have some gaps below that haven't been filled, right about 10. So my assumption is that this is moving back to 10 at some point. But I think we're going to start moving down, but I don't know that the VIX is going to move up significantly. American Airlines reported today, right after United reported yesterday. Airlines are reporting record revenues. All airlines have reported record revenues, Delta, United, and American right now. They guided up. See, here's my point why I think the market is going to go back down. With airlines pointing out that, hey, we're having record revenues, and if you've flown in the past, 3 months like I have, dude, I'm getting middle seats. I mean, the middle seats on a Tuesday flight. Yeah, that never happened before. But it's clear the Fed has not killed demand. And when the Fed doesn't kill demand, what do? They raise rates. So there's a 75-point rate increase on the books in the market priced in for November. You guys remember when the August 75-point rate it was priced in. What happened on the day they announced it? Market crashed. So if they're seeing employment numbers, which came out as fairly strong today, and you're seeing demand, airlines, travel, it's not coming out. The job market's not getting any better, meaning any worse, meaning that you can still find a job if you want a job. Personally, I don't want a job. I like this job. But that's the danger that we're in. Tractor Supply Company, TSCO. I've traded this one in the past. It's an interesting one because they are outgrowing Home Depot and Lowe's by a large amount. They did have this downturn in 2022 at the beginning of this year we go back here. I'll show you kind of look at the weekly because you'll see the growth. Right after the pandemic, these guys actually started opening up more stores. Specifically, I've noticed in New Jersey. Jesse's right. December's already 0.75% point increase. From the Fed as well. It's all priced in, but as those bond rates start moving up, I think every percentage so far, the move from 1 to 2, the move from 2 to 3, the move from 3 to 4, because we're at 4% right now, each one has correlated to a 700 point drop in the S&P. And so when you do another one, because we're at 4 right now, and it's going to move to 5, so you do another one, and you're at, let's see, the S&P right now is at 36.95. You're below 3,000. So if we get to 5% on the bond market, boom, you're down. Tractor Supply Company, look at that growth. That growth is, again, they reported a record quarter again. TSCL, let me see what they're doing in the pre-market. They were up slightly, I think. 196. You're trading at 199. But when we run the algorithm on this one, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is yesterday we had a Home Depot cross. We had a cross up here at 191 on September 28th. Their dividend, TSCO, let me see, TSCO. I have to remember I'll do AT&T after this one. Their dividend is 1.87. They're down 17%, so they're beating the S&P. They've got this ascending triangle. They're in this trading range between 203 and 185. There's nothing super exciting about this, but if you haven't tried Tractor Supply, I would challenge you that next time you want to go into a Home Depot or you want pet food. I buy some of my pet food from there sometimes when I'm in New Jersey because it's actually cheaper than Amazon. But if you want something, go in there, look at the store. It's kind of like a Dollar General. If you guys have driven around rural America, Dollar General Dollar General's famous for just putting up a cheap building and putting non-perishables in there, and that's kind of what Tractor Supply is. But I would expect to see more growth out of Tractor Supply than Home Depot and Lowe's. DVR I posted yesterday. I think I posted on Instagram yesterday. DVR. It's got more confirmation. Guys, it's got more confirmation. 47 was the buy-in here on September 15th. you're at 73. Now, it did dip down here towards those Bollinger Bands, but see those Bollinger Bands sinking up? The 50-day is at the bottom of the Bollinger Band, but you're right in the middle of this Bollinger Band. You trade outside of it. It had to come down from there, but the algorithm hasn't gotten you out. And the algorithm, when you look at DVR, look at the MACD. It's kind of making a move there. The strike line, which is the yellow, is coming down, but this one's making a move up. So I still say that if you're in DVR, stay in DVR. I think I got you out based on this button hook, but it was too early. I think you could see a leg up here to 80. If you're not in DVR, I wouldn't get in because that gap down here, there's other places you could put your money and just be patient. This one's going to come down when the market goes up. But this is home builders. They announced yesterday the mortgage rate went to 7.2, 20-year high. So there's no reason that you shouldn't be in DVR at some point in time. The home builders are pulling back. I said SQQQ was probably a good buy here. I do think that probably TQQQ will go over. Another one that I've just gotten wrong is Boyle. Boyle's down at 37. The algorithm says don't buy in. And I continue to say Boyle's got to go up. At some point, natural gas has to go up, but it's just getting killed. And if I knew where this one was going to go, Nostradamus would have been a rich man during these times. But clearly on the weekly here, Boyle uses that 200-day as a resistance level, and that's at 79, but you're trading at 37. You're not outside the Bollinger Bands. You can see the Bollinger Bands really dip down here, and they really opened up on the way up, where it traded outside the Bollinger Bands from March until June. That was the last time we said, hey, buy Boyle. And it ran from 30 up to 130. And the next time was July, where it ran from 40 up to 104. Are we getting there now? I don't know. I mean, you're heading into winter. You're trading at about 37. So far, it's been a warm winter in Europe. And that's what's killing natural gas. It's been a warm winter in Europe. Also, their storage has been added to pretty much. So I do think that Boyle is a play. Even the algorithm doesn't have you in now, though. If you're getting burned on Boyle, my apologies, but probably just buy KOLD. You're trading outside the Bollinger Bands on the downside on this one. I wouldn't sell Boyle right now and buy KOLD. I'd probably just wait and be patient with Boyle. If you've lost more than 50%, take your losses, because I think this one may go to the 20s. You can see that clearly the volume's starting to pick up, but it's all sale volume. And the RSI is down at 24. Jordy on Instagram wanted me to look at Adobe, and this was from a while ago, and my apologies, Jordy. I knew somebody had written to me, but Adobe, they had a MACD cross up here September 27th at 275. They're trading at 299. They've already announced their earnings. There's a gap here at 305. If you're not in this one, I don't know that you necessarily get into this one. It's still expensive. Let me look at the PE real quick. This is a Cathie Wood's favorite. Its PE is 29. Its forward PE is 19. They don't have a dividend. It's 47% down on the year. It is 9% above its 52-week low. It is 57% below its 52-week high. The 52-week high is 700. It's never getting back up there. You're at 300. I would probably say anything below 300 is a decent price on this one, because you're low here at 275. I mean, that's your 52-week low is 274. So the algorithm got you in at 275. The algorithm loses you 25%. Buying and holding the stock loses you 38%. You win 28% of the time. 25 positions, 28% of the time you win. Your average win is 9.7. So Adobe, personally, I'm not a super fan of it, but yeah. The other one that Jordy wanted me to look at was PKG, Packaging Corporation of America. And I'll read you. I have what I hope is a better request for an analysis, Packaging America. As the name suggests, they're a packaging products manufacturer. Although they have been beaten down in the market, they still show strong revenue numbers, which surprises me given the whole logistics mess we've had in the past years. So here's the chart. We'll look at the chart first. You just had your dividend X date on September 30th. There was a MACD cross up here at 115. You're trading at 114. Your earnings are coming up October 24th, so next week. You can clearly see that MACD has been in upward trajectory, but the stock hasn't moved. So the MACD's moving up, the RSI's moving up, but the stock's just been sitting there. And what that is you can see the Bollinger Bands are syncing up right before earnings. So the earnings are going to be key for this, and that's going to be a catalyst. Now, there is a gap here between 125 and 132. In my mind, that's where the stock wants to go. Just from looking at, again, a short-term play here. You can see if I pull this volume shelf back here to its recent highs in May, the bigger volume shelf is up here at 137, but you're forming a volume shelf between 113 and 115. Let's see if they're making money. Let's go to FinViz and look. They are making money. The PE is 10. The dividend is 4.37%. So it's nothing to sneeze at. That's a pretty good dividend. Year to date, they're down 15%. So they are beating SPY. It has been beaten down. You can see the descending trend lines down here. So it is a descending stock on the decline. You can clearly see even on the 4-hour chart, it's declining. The earnings are going to be key. And you can see 276 on the earnings, then 272, then 323. It was obvious that big dividend kind of took it out of the stock. And once it was the dividend was paid, you just saw it just dip down. There you go. Yeah, your Bollinger Bands. You can see the Bollinger Bands here right before the dividend was paid. I don't know what happened. Let's see if there was. Let's see the analyst. Analyst October 18th downgrade from Deutsche Bank. Hold to sell. They have a $104 price target. September, Jefferies, hold to underperform, $112 price target. There's a Zacks article. Crap. When you should buy. Simply Wall Street's crap too. 10 best dividend growth companies to buy now, September 26th. Look at that one, Insider Monkey. That'll kind of tell you where you want to go. But from a chart standpoint, again, it's a downward trending stock. I don't know that it's got anywhere to go from a support level. And that's the dangerous part, is when you don't have support below, could easily just continue to go down because it doesn't have a number that you can actually stop at. That gap up there that happened on September 16th, that worries me, and that there was a catalyst there. There was some type of news, so that's where I would look at that one. Okay, scans. TXN, Texas Instruments. This is another boring. Or you know what? Before stands, I said that I would go over AT&T. AT&T blew out their earnings. They had really good growth. This is a stock that I will first show you. Let's go to a weekly, because this stock, you'll see. Look at this. Since 2017, you haven't made any money. You've just been in a complete decline. This has been a mismanaged company left and right. You can clearly see recently, and again, this is weekly, so this goes from August, or July, I should say, and you've been on the downside of this Bollinger Band. You've had no confirmation. And then this week, you're up. So let's go to the algorithm. I'll run this. The algorithm, it loses you 31% versus buying and holding loses you 27%. So the algorithm actually performs worse. And the reason it performs worse is because you just get faked out a lot. 33 positions, you win only 24% of the time. Your average win is only 3.92%. Here's what I want to say about for AT&T. You had a buy-in at 15.19. You're up at 16.32. This has been a great, and it's still got confirmation here. But what I want to tell you about AT&T, it's just been a bad business to be in. Now, they've got a huge dividend. I think it's like 7%. And the reason it yields at 7% is because the stock is so cheap. The PE is 5. Let's look at the company that I would steer you towards is Verizon. Their PE is 7. It's a little bit more expensive. Their dividend is 7.14. But with AT&T providing positive earnings, This one could turn around and could easily go back to 50. Now, I think AT&T could probably go to 20. I just don't trust AT&T. I think John Steggy, the new CEO, is better than the old CEO. Randall was just a freaking, God. He bought DirecTV. But look at Verizon. The Bollinger Bands are syncing up. You're trading at 36.74. The algorithm had you buy in at 36.72. So I like this one here. I do like it. I think it's got a good Verizon. Their earnings are coming up after the bell, I think. No, it should be reported, I guess, today. Before the bell. Who knows? But I like Verizon. I think you'll see that their stock move. I'm pausing the podcast. I will be right back. Dog crying. The other thing I had to get was a plug for the iPad because I'm going to lose you guys on live right now because I didn't plug in my iPad overnight. So let me plug this puppy in. Let's put it in the long cord. The short cord ain't going to reach. I'm going to plug this in. Boom. Okay. Now we should be charging. All my bull out of loss, 10%. Good move. Good move selling at a loss, though. I'll tell you that. I've been leading you guys wrong. It'll happen again. I got you. The only reason, Zevin, do not put that much pressure on me. My dogs put that much pressure on me and that I can take care of them. And I don't take care of them. But, okay, I'm at 50 minutes and I haven't gone over the damn cross-ups yet. Okay. Thank you, guys. I had to pause that one. Dog was crying. Cross-ups. I was talking about Verizon and AT&T. Texas Instruments. This was the one that I was going to go into. It's a boring company, but it's boring consistent. And they just had a cross up right here before earnings at 152.66. This one has performed on earnings the last few times really, really well. And I say really well seeing this downturn right here. But if you bought here at earnings, you could have held on to it. This is another one that if you just hold on to it, you're not getting burned. They're going to come back up to where they're trading. Let's see. Let's look at TXN. They are down 19%, so they're right kind of in line with the S&P. The PE is 16. They have a 3.25% dividend. They are 5% above their 52-week low, 24% below their 52-week high. Now, they might announce some weakening, but their dividend date is right after earnings. I don't think it's a bad play to think that this one at 152, let's see the chart on FinViz. It doesn't point out anything, but you can clearly see right there that kind of trend line. It doesn't tell me what kind of trend line it is, but H and R means something. I just forget. Again, it's broken this down bottom part. Overall, I like it. XOM had a secondary. This is just kind of tells me that there's a second leg up because we went over it earlier. Their earnings are coming up. It just had another cross up. Another one that I own, Oxy, that had a cross up. This is one that Warren Buffett owns. I said, I think on YouTube Live, if this one closes over 70 with that cross up, I would say moving into earnings, we're looking super positive. It's got a volume shelf here down around 66 that I think is going to provide you significant support. It does have gaps down below it. If I pull this out, you'll clearly see those gaps below it. But I think this 64 to 66 provides us a very good base above the 200-day right there. So that gap down there, I would say this gap above at 73 to 75, that looks to be filled before the gap down below does. You can just clearly see that there's confirmation above that 9-day. The Bollinger Bands have cinched up since this one has. And Bollinger Bands cinching up like this usually mean up or down. Don't know, but with that cross up, it's kind of a positive move. Teradyne is one that I own, a very small position. I think like $1,000 that I bought, and I bought it way back when. I am losing money on this one. Had a cross up at 73 right before earnings. The MACD's down. I do like this one to cover some of these gaps up. The problem that you have is I think this one's super expensive if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not too expensive now. It's come down. It's only got a 0.6% dividend, but it's 60%, 55% down on the year. It's 7% above its 52-week low. It's 56% below its 52-week high. So I like this one here. I own it. I think you could try and bet on that one, and that's why I put it in there. Applied Materials, AMAT, they had a cross up. Let's see. Did they announce it? Their earnings are coming up November 17th, followed by their dividend, and I think they have a pretty good dividend, $77.25. In a downward market like we've had, you can clearly see in a downward market, you get these false ones. There's gaps up above here. Now, here's the thing. As you see that button hook there, what you saw here was a button hook with a fake out. I don't know that the fake out doesn't necessarily happen again. And that's what I'm saying. The positive of today or this week just kind of makes me think without any good news, you got the Prime Minister of England, you got the resigning, you've got the war in Ukraine still going on, you've got gasoline issues going on, energy, inflation is still out of control, the Fed is still raising rates. So I don't know that you necessarily go into this one, but I did want to bring it up because it's gone down so much. Marvell Technologies is the same thing. You can see this gap up here between 46 and 47. Look at the last purchase on September 29th, $43. It got you out here at 41. But you know, at 43, you rode all the way up to 48. You had your 10%, and then you gapped down. So if you didn't take your profits, you're not listening to me. And that's Marvell Technologies, MRVL. Down at 38, let's look at their, look at this. They're not making money. Their forward PE is 13.89. They're 6.22 price to sales, 0.637% dividend. They're 7% above their 52-week high or 52-week low, which is 35. They're 60% below their 52-week high of 93. October 11th, upgrade from Wells Fargo, equal to overweight, price target 58. This trade is trading at $38. So I do think that you guys have opportunities here. In my mind, with today opening down, I mean, you're pretty flat. TQQQ is under 20. I still say that under 20, you're probably good on this one. for the quote unquote long term, because at some point that gets up above 20. So TQQQ could start to get, if we go down to 3,000. Again, remember how I said, here's the S&P. I'll show you the S&P. So if you looked at the S&P, let's do it. Let's look at SPY. We'll look at SPY. Because 700 points for every 1% raise in interest rates on the 10-year from 1% to 2%, 2% to 3%, and 3% to 4%, we're going to get to 5. You're just going to get to 5. I mean, that's just inevitable. We're going to get to 5. But when you saw that, that was 70 points. Because you can see, let's move back. Let's do a weekly. Let's move to a weekly. Here's the weekly. So here's January, right here, 474, 70 points down. You're down at 400, where you go 1 to 1%. This was February where you first started raising. Then you went February to April. They raised a second time. 70 points down is 380. 400, 340. And then you move down again, down there. So 70 points from 370, you're down at 300. So when we move to 5%, and I don't know that 5% is going to get there with this rate move of 0.75 because that's already priced in. But with the December at 0.75, Jesse brings up a good point. That's most likely when we get to 5% and you're down at 3,000. So the volume shelves that you're looking at here, I would move this to there and see how you just don't have a lot of volume to support down here. And the reason is just because you've been in a downward market. But if I move it back to where we were trading here, you can clearly see, let's move it back to the COVID lows. Move it back there. See where you have this jutting out right here? You're just using that 200-day right now. When you move below that 200-day, that's where we kind of get in danger. And you're still on the downside of the 9-day right there. So I think that's a good overview of the market. Yeah, Zephan, I'll give you advice on YouTube Live. But it's been an hour. I've rambled enough. Hit me up on the socials. Remember, thank you guys for supporting the podcast with your tips. Anything that you guys want me to talk about, hit me up on social media. Share the podcast too. I think today or maybe tomorrow, I'm doing another Election Insider with Richard Barron. If you want to look that one up, I need to add that to my link tree. But if you have any questions, hit me up. Take care. I'm finishing the podcast. I think I recorded the podcast a little too low today. Export. Yeah. I think I recorded. Yeah, Zephan, IBM, I saw it. I think yesterday I told you, hey, hold on to it. Maybe 130. Let's look at IBM. I'll switch over to I think I said it wasn't worth selling it before earnings. It gapped up. Look at that gap. IBM gapped from 123 to 126. That gap right there, Zephan, at some point that's going to get filled on the way down. You have tremendous confirmation above that Bollinger Band right now. Let's look at the live chart. We'll go to Active Trader Pro. IBM. It's kind of losing its ground here, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's just probably a lot of people doing what you're doing, Zephan. Just, hey, I'm going to sell. You don't see a 3% move in IBM a whole hell of a lot of times. 10-day volume's 4.9 million, 90-day volume 4.7. When's their ex-dividend date? They don't have it posted, but it looks like it's usually shortly after. Ex-dividend date, 8/9. Yeah, they haven't announced the ex-dividend date for the next one. But it's a decent dividend. I'd probably... I hate to tell you to move it, Zephin, but... wow, did we really move positive? What the hell's going on? Or is that just... Hold on, I gotta check my account here. And I'm gonna get off early. My fat ass needs to run today. I haven't run in a couple of days. I may go over to Kennesaw Mountain today. Yeah, we are up. I'm up 0.56%. I'm blowing away all the indices. The S&P's down. Is the S&P really down? Or is my shit not moving? Active Trader Pro. Hold on. I got to reset Active Trader Pro. Maybe it's just GarageBand's taking up a bunch of resources and it's just not moving. No. Active Trader Pro needs to be reset. I'm going to quit Active Trader Pro and restart it. Restart this one. I think it stays, even though I quit it, damn thing stays up on YouTube Live. Oh, man, you guys were chatty today. Joe, man, good move on selling Boyle. I feel bad, man. Alexis keeps telling me, when's Boyle going to move? When's Boyle going to move? You said it was going to move. Well, I'm not always perfect. I'm as close to perfect as you can get. I need to start writing jokes for the podcast, too. I feel like I just geek out and start talking about charts and no jokes. Yeah, see, now I'm seeing it. It's all up. Active Trader Pro froze on me. Those bastards. And if you guys can see it, I'll show you. I don't know if you can see it, but down below I have, I got to change this. I have GOOGL. Because you know what? I made the mistake of buying GOOGL on Google. Okay, let's look at TQQQ. I got to quit GarageBand too. Once it's done downloading everything and bouncing. Oh, look at TQQQ. Look at that. Looky. My dogs are going to get all excited. It's up 1%. Man, it's trading outside the Bollinger Bands. See how it came inside the Bollinger Bands? See how it's synced up here? This always does this, by the way, at the open. You'll see this on a lot of triple levered ETFs where right before open, it kind of cinches up the Bollinger Bands because people start the volume isn't really there. And then at 9:30, man, because, here's the thing. My parents are in their 80s. They've been trading and investing all their lives. They still have never asked Fidelity for after-hours trading. You have to ask your brokerage for after-hours trading. I think Robinhood and crap like that, I think it's automatic that you get it. But Fidelity and those traditional brokers and stuff, you have to ask. I haven't used Webull, Jesse. I haven't used Webull. I haven't used Robinhood. I wanted to actually transfer some money to Robinhood because I wanted to use the app. And this was in the days 2020 where Robinhood's stock was just soaring. There we go. I'm going to quit GarageBand so I actually have some resources. And let me start uploading this create episode. I'll tell you the story of Robinhood. Insert ad, and I'm going to put in a transition because I know how much people like that. I was going to transfer money into Robinhood because I wanted to invest in Robinhood, and I wanted to see what all the stuff was about. The reason I didn't was because I had one kid that I was mentoring. Oh, shit, I need to call Braden. But one kid I was mentoring a little bit, he had his stuff in Robinhood, and he loved Robinhood. When I told him to use Fidelity because you get Active Trader Pro and you get actual learnings and things of that sort, it took him 14 days to get the money out of Robinhood over to Fidelity. That's ridiculous to me. And a brokerage that's going to hold on to my money for that long, F you. And they charged him $75 to close his account. What? You're charging me $75 to close my account? You got to be fucking kidding me. But Webull, I haven't heard anything about. I know Zip Trader Charlie, the guy that I listen to every now and then, he's gotten a little too negative for me in some of his titles. I think his title 3 days ago, and I didn't watch it, was "Get your money out of the bank while you can." And it had a big picture on the thumbnail of Michael Burry's tweet. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen Michael Burry's tweet from yesterday, Michael Burry is the guy in the movie The Big Short, and he made billions of dollars shorting the housing market in 2007. Essentially, a lot of what he did brought the market down, and it was derivatives. And he doesn't claim that he was the reason for it, but between me and you, he was a contributing factor. I should say a heavy contributing factor to the financial markets being the way they were. But he made billions of dollars, and it's just, if you can find that Wall Street is betting big and betting illegally, it was the big banks that really forced it. He just found out what they were doing, and he was smart enough to understand what they were doing, and then said, you know what, I'm going to short it. And any money that I can get into my hedge fund, I'm going to short it. And at some point in time, we're going to make billions of dollars from this. And they did. They made billions of dollars. But he's a medical doctor. I believe he has his medical degree. And he put out a tweet yesterday about keep an eye out over the next coming years. I don't know what years means. Is it 15? Is it 10? Is it 5? For an increase in lymphoma, because the vaccine attacks the T cells. So he put out that tweet, and I highlighted it. What did I highlight? Let me see. I texted it to some friends. I have a bunch of texts. Yep, I do. Oh, my boss from MLS. They're worried about the finals being in Montreal. Let me just, I should check. Hold on. Before I get and look at the tweet, I gotta check. I think Nikki has a passport as well. An up-to-date passport. I just gotta check. Mine expires March of 2030. I'm good. Whoop, whoop. March of 2030. If you need stuff brought up, I could do a road trip from New Jersey if needed. My boss. I'm telling you, man, SOXL is going nuts. Let's see. Boom! You guys on YouTube, if you listen to me, SOXL Jesse, man, you are right. Fuck, I should be richer than I am. See, rather than doing this damn podcast, I should be doing trading. Ugh, don't get me started. You know what? I'm putting that in the title. SOXL with earnings. Goodbye. At $7. What's it? Yeah. Market update. 10/2022. No, man. How long? Hold on. I gotta look at this. Maps. Google Maps. We're gonna go from New Jersey and directions Montreal. I don't know why I'm giving you guys my home address. Yeah, see, Montreal's only like an 8-hour drive. Oh. Jesse, did you buy Texas Instruments on my recommendation? Here's that UVixie thing that we looked at yesterday. Oh. I'm not showing you guys the... Yeah, I put out DRV yesterday on Twitter and Instagram. Still think it's a great... Let me see. Is DRV going up? DRV is probably going down, but it's not down by much. It's a 72. So far, it's traded between 72 and 74 today. And it's about to get a MACD cross up on a 1-minute chart, which doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot. What's Zoom at? Zoom's getting my D1 plus line. Wow, look at Zoom. Oof. Yeah, but look at DRV. DRV is down. It's a triple levered ETF, Jesse. And DRV is only down 0.75. Well, the S&P is down 0.3. If the S&P is down 0.3 or up 0.3, this one should be down by 0.9. Well, it's now down by 1%. It lost everything. But remember I told you guys TQQQ under 20. Still got confirmation. Wow. Okay, let me finish this one. Anchor. I'm going to pause you guys. Take a look at how exciting TQQQ is. I had a call and let me give her a call real quick. Okay. Do I have anybody staying around? Holy crap. Did you guys hear my whole phone conversation? Episodes. Yeah. The meme on Jim Cramer was awesome. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Oh my God, I gotta sneeze. Okay, there's our link. For you heard my whole conversation about green cards and shit. My friend's gonna kill me if she watches this. Okay, let me put my notes. And by the way, TQQQ above 20. Whoop whoop. Looky here. Okay. Holy crap, I have a lot of notes here. Oh, I don't want this. I want under 20 is a buy. What's Generac symbol? I think it's GEN. GNRC. GNRC. Yeah, so the story on the green card, this is fun. The finals in Montreal is going to be an issue for MLS. Holy crap, man. Where's my... hold on, I gotta... 3 p.m. is fine. Sorry, I'm... So yeah, so with and hold on, let me finish this. Bond rates ticked up. ABML. Tesla. We talked about. Las Vegas Sand LVS. I think LVS. Why am I not on Do Not Disturb? Oh, I am on Do Not Disturb. Hold on. IBM. I'm going to leave Macau the way I spelled it, by the way. LCRX. OIH. American Airlines. AA. XOM. XLE. OIH. STZ. TQQ under 20. Oil up. Uvixi. American Airlines. TSCO, DVR, SQQQ, Boyle is getting killed, SOXL. I'd rather see you buy NVIDIA, AMD, Qualcomm. Jordy on Instagram. Scans, TXN, XOM, Oxy, Teradyne, AMAT, Marvel. Okay, we're going to then take this. Oh, you know what? I also did Devon, Oxy, CVX. Yeah, God, how can you not buy energy? My parents haven't put any money into energy. I was yelling at them last night. We hit 1 hour. There we go. I'm going to post this on Twitter. And guys, share with your friends how cool I am at 52 years old. TQQQ. We're going to push this up. Okay. Oil. I'm going to take this ABML. I'll leave that in because I think that's going to be a retail big one. LVS, IBM, LR. Oh, we're going to put in this. You know what? I'm just going to take this out. There we go. We're going to take this out. And OIH. That's because you live in Maine, Jesse. Jesse, I was just looking and talking with my boss. We may be driving from Atlanta to Montreal. For these finals. TSCO. Oh man, I'm not going to have enough room for all of these symbols. I'll do it the other way. Instead, Adobe, PKG, and then all the scans. The scans will go in a second one. Okay, this is what we'll do. We will cut this and tweet that, and then we'll tweet it again, and we'll do the scans. And we'll put that in there, and then I'm going to look at, okay, let's see. We're going to put in Marvel, we'll put in AT&T, we'll put in SQQQ, Hook, I don't know what Hook is, AMD, Nokia is up there, NVIDIA, holy crap, NVIDIA is flying. Bahaba. By the way, I am going to Acadia at some point in time, Jesse. In fact, I should probably. I have a great photo. Hold on, I'm going to find it. Instagram.com. I think. Let me switch my account. Switch accounts. Others. There we go. The username doesn't match. What the hell? Other passwords. Instagram. Oh, there we go. Phil. Do, 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 do. I'm going to show you a cool. Oh, not save info. The hell. Let me see, where am I? There's a cool photo. Oh, I don't want this. I want to look at my posts, because I have a cool photo, and I think I posted it on my Instagram, of me doing the Precipice Trail in Acadia on my birthday 3 years ago. No, 4 years ago, I guess. Yeah, I guess it was 4 years ago. God, what a time. And that's the year. Yeah, here it is. I am going to, how do I share this one? Let's see. Copy link. Can I post it here? Paste. There we go. Bahaba. I think we went to Bahaba. If you look at that picture, there's me climbing the ladder rungs, and you can see how high I am. That's pretty much straight down. And there's cars in the upper right-hand corner to give you a taste of how high we are up on the Precipice Trail. And I got a GoPro on the side of my head. That was fun. That was a great time. Man, I love that one. Okay, I can't look at my Google. TQQQ still has confirmation. See, it's above the 21 day. Boom. Man, this is quite a rally. Set a calendar appointment for 3 p.m. to record the podcast with Rick. Boy, I mumbled.
Record the podcast with Rick is scheduled for 3 p.m.
Siri knows my mumbles. See? The time, the subject matter of the articles. My friend Nikki will kill me. She's such a private person, and she's got a green card now. Do I have a cross up? I believe TQQQ had a cross up. Man, I tell you what, SOXL. Is anybody in SOXL? You guys got to tell me. TQQQ had a cross up at 1932. It's only at $20.37. So it's not far off from where it had the cross up. The RSI is at 52. SOXL is the one that really took off. Yeah, I think SOXL is going to cover that gap. I might get in here at even at 827, because even though 727 was the buy-in, there's this gap here. I should go here. Hold on. So here's the gap. You can see SOXL right now. It's at 826, and I got to tell you, when I look at it on Active Trader Pro, I'll switch back. Let's go to SOXL. You can see when I zoom in here, this is a 1 minute chart. So it's kind of lost. It's below the 21. Hasn't gone down to the bottom of the Bollinger Band. But you can see the VWAP is at 8. Now it's creating this volume up here at 823 to 827. It's trading at 822, but it's losing some of its might. Dude, we didn't stay in Bar Harbor. I got to look it up. Did I book it? I booked it through Expedia. I will tell you, we stayed at this guy's little motor lodge. It's about a half hour outside of Acadia. And I got it. Let me see. Profile. Trips. Past. Because I did do, let me see, there was a main trip. I'm pretty sure I booked it through Expedia. La Verkin, Lincoln, Knoxville, Madrid, Bar Harbor. Here we go. It was Bar Harbor. Twilight Motel. And I got to tell you, let me see, is the Twilight Motel still there? Let's see all hotels. Hold on 1 second, guys. That's the other one. Where are you at? She's got to be upstairs. Sorry, I've got a dog that is upstairs crying for some reason. Yeah, Ellsworth. That's where it was. But I got to tell you, so here's the deal, Jesse. Up in Bar Harbor, and I'll look at stocks in a second because SOXL looks like it's got a buy trigger here. But the guy at the Twilight Hotel, super sweet guy. He ran it with his wife. Just awesome. And the hotel, it's not a great place. But that's the kind of place I stay. I love it. The guy was super nice. We went there in August. My problem with it was, if I remember correctly, the air conditioner it didn't have an air conditioner. I think I left the windows open and it almost got too cold up there or something. It was August. I forget. I remember, or maybe the water pressure wasn't right or something happened. But the guy told us, and if you ever get a chance, Jesse, there's a place here. I think it's called okay, let me find it before I Cutler Land Management Main Hike. Bold Coast, that's what it's called. Bold Coast Hike, Maine. Yeah. So, Jesse, that's what it was. Google the Bold Coast. Bold Coast Hike. I think this was where we went. It was awesome. And I'll show you. Let me go to my YouTube channel, my other YouTube channel. Because I'll show you. Okay, I'm going to switch accounts. Switch accounts to this one. And I'll copy. I can see my live up here. But I want to go to library. And I want to go to your videos. And it's taking me to the studio. Don't know that I necessarily need to go to the studio, but let's see. I think there's a way I can look at. Oh, I want to go. Let me just go to my channel. Your channel. because I'm not going to be able to find it from 3 years ago because I post so many random freaking videos. Oh, that's my channel. Let's go to the edited videos because I put Lionel Richie in here. You guys will like that one. Let me see. Trail days. Bold Coast hike. Here it is. I guess I got to click on it to actually share it. Yeah. Share. And we'll copy. And I'll paste. That was a killer hike. Me and my buddy VJ. This was where the guy from the Twilight Hotel told us to hike. And all along that coastline, it's called the Bold Ocean Hike. It's awesome. Jesse, if you haven't done that one, I don't know what your physical fitness level is like. I don't know if you go hiking a lot. But you basically go down to the ocean and you go to these cliffs. And right where I'm showing you where this drone was taken, it's just wildflowers. This was August, so obviously it's a nice time. I'm sure it's freaking gorgeous. There is a lot of water and stuff in there. So, yeah, it's just awesome. I mean, that was probably my top 5 hikes of all time that I've ever done was that one, just because it was so surprising. So surprisingly good. So let's move back to SOXL. I missed it. 810 would have been where to buy it right when it hit that bottom Bollinger Band. But that VWAP is what scares me because the VWAP, that's the volume weighted average price. It's only at 801. So you're trading well above it at 820. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to buy 5 shares of this, what's that? Between 801 and 820, 5 shares is $1. I mean, again, it's not much. If you're going to buy 100 shares, and go with $800, it's $50. Still not a huge amount, but you want right now. You can see it's just above the 9-day. It's just above the 21-day, and so you have confirmation. That 1 minute candle, that red candle right there. So it went green, red. I think I'd put in a buy here. I'd probably put in a buy at 824. 825 might be. Yeah, that red candle's a good one because see, it didn't touch the 9 or the 21, and so I think you've got to move up here. Again, this is if you're day trading. This one, even if you want to hold on to this, because if we go back to the Safari view and you look at the active trader TrendSpider, look at that. I mean, I'm going to zoom in here so you can see. We'll take the strategy tester off so you can see it full screen. But today's candle, it's touching the 9-day, but it's above there. It's just reaching the 21-day. The Bollinger Bands are syncing up. So they're coming in. You've already got a 6% swing here in a green candle. It's got all the confirmation in the world. And look at that volume shelf. Let's make sure that we've got the volume shelf pinned right. No, we don't. The support level for volume shelf is right here at 813. So even though you're buying at 824, 823, you're touching the 9-day now. It's the middle of the Bollinger Band. If you're going to do this, it's capitulating right here. But I think for a long term, I do think that you're touching this. I'm going to take a look at this one. Let me look at the 5-minute chart. Let's go back to Active Trader Pro. And let's look at the 5-minute chart. Man, I got to tell VJ. I met somebody who knows where the Twilight Hotel is. He'll love it because we both loved the guy who owns that place. He was just so sweet. Essentially what he told us was his son had done the Bold Coast hike and we didn't want to go back to Acadia because it was August. It was August 10th. We had woken up at 3 a.m. to watch the sunrise at 5 a.m. over Cadillac Mountain. We then did the Precipice Trail. Then we did the Jordan Lake Trail. And then we went up where they do a bunch of mountain climbing. And we did those trails in Acadia. And it was hell getting around Acadia. So the next day, we were there for one more night. And we got back to the hotel, and the guy's like, how'd you guys enjoy Acadia? And we were like, it was awesome, blah, blah, blah. And he was well, what are you guys doing tomorrow? And I said, I don't know. I think we covered most of Acadia. So I think we're just going to go along the beach area and find a hike there. And he said, hold on. He called his son, and his son was like, hey, this Bold Coast, Maine, tell them to go up there. It's a little ways away. I think it's like an hour and a half away, maybe two, from that area, from the hotel. And we drove up there. We got up early in the morning. We did breakfast in the middle of nowhere, this diner that we just ran across. And the lady, I think it was like super early. There was nobody there. And the lady was like, people don't come around here early. And we were like, yeah, people just don't seem to come around here. And she was super sweet. And we went there and then did the Bold Coast hike. And then from the Bold Coast hike, we did two more hikes that were inland, nothing substantial. And then we wound up watching the sunset over Acadia. There's I think it's by the Beehive Trail, where you kind of get a shot over some hills, where you can watch the sunset over some hills and stuff. And we did eat some lobster in Bar Harbor, I think, that day. We went down there for like 10 minutes, couldn't find parking. And then it just, dissolved into that. But it was fun, man. I got to tell you. Now, why did I say I was going to, here, I'm going to go for a run. I got a 3 o'clock appointment. SOXL, I think this is your buy today. I think this is the one. It's up 9% already today. I think if we get into a downturn, I think you will see the market cool down a little bit. Right now, this 1 minute chart, it's kind of cooling down. You can see the Bollinger Bands kind of syncing up. Again, these were wide open through this channel. This top is coming down here. That means it's kind of settling down. You're seeing the volume kind of build up here, but that VWAP is continuing to move up. I would wait until this VWAP kind of touches the bottom of these Bollinger Bands. You don't want to buy into a rally. You want to buy before the rally actually hits, like right here. Those Bollinger Bands were just synced up. Boom, it just took off. It was going to go up or down. Just didn't know which one. Wow, I didn't know SOXL has a 1% dividend too. They pay a 1% dividend on a 3 times. How does that work? Let's see. I bet it's at the end of the year. Let's see. They don't have an earnings, but they should have the dividend listed. Let's go weekly. I guess not. Let's see. Let's Google this. SOXL dividend date. Why does it take me here? Oh, okay. Oh, this is weird. XOX. Historical dividend yield data. So it's 1.06 dividend yield. Huh. But that doesn't help me. SOXL dividend yield. There we go. 9/20/22. So it pays every quarter. It paid out 4 cents in 9/20 per share. So it looks like you'll get one in December. I think I ended up down about, what was I? Down, maybe, no, I was down about 0.2. Not down by much. But but I did wind up down. Holy crap. SOXL. Remember I said the Bollinger Band? Yeah. It's going for a ride again. Patience is a virtue, though. I'm telling you. And Tesla's on a freaking run. Tesla's on a freaking tear. Look. Went down. 204. It's up at 212 now. That's a good tear. Okay, guys, I'm shutting it down. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'll be on tomorrow. I may do some shorts, may do some Instagram stuff, but always good talking with you, Jesse. You should have more friends. Zephin, I hope you're still there. Shout out to Joe. I hope Boyle comes back. Alexis is still holding Boyle. Look at Boyle, guys. Boyle's going for a run. Mother effer. Look at Boyle. They're talking about the water levels in the Mississippi. Guys, if you don't know, global warming is just effing with the planet. Look at Boyle. I posted the damn. I'm going to post this. Let's go back here. I just think Boyle is just, it's oversold. Okay, we're going to tweet. We're going to put this in. Boyle. So, boy, here's what you have to know about natural gas. Natural gas is wacky. It's a commodity. It kind of, if you look at here, here's what we'll do. I'll move you over to Safari. And we'll go over to the algorithm. And you look at Boyle. So Boyle is just like any other stock from a technical standpoint, from a charts perspective. Look at it. Here's where it is, Zephin. Look, it's trading below that Bollinger Band. Now, if you go and you look at we'll look at a daily, and you look at a daily, it's below that Bollinger Band. The RSI on a daily is 28. That's just like any other stock. When it becomes that oversold, it's going to get some love on the upside. Doesn't mean that it's going to get a lot of love on the upside, but you can see when it gets down to this bottom of the Bollinger Band here, it starts to move up. We'll go to a weekly. And this stock, by the way, it's a decaying asset, but you can see it trades at the bottom of that Bollinger Band in 2020. I mean, it just continued down. And then you see when it hits the bottom of the Bollinger Band, it kind of moves up. And then you had this legendary move from April till October in 2021, and you went down to the bottom of the Bollinger Band again. And you had another legendary move from January all the way to June, and it tried to move down to the bottom of the Bollinger Band again. It didn't quite make it, but now it's making it. And it'll make it down to the bottom of the Bollinger Band. You can see if we just zoom in, it's not quite there. This is the weekly. So it's still got some room on the downside. And you can see it from this October 5th, 2020. So it's about a year ago. Look at the volume shelf. People are holding this at 26. That's where the majority of people are holding this stock at 26. So you still have room to go down. That's the point, is you still have room to go down. Now, when we run the algorithm on this, because I think a 4-hour chart is much better looking at this than like a long-term chart, you don't have a lot of people holding this stock down here. The majority of people holding the stock, here's where, this is August 5th. So this is what, just 2 months? 2 months ago? The majority of people who are holding this stock are holding it between 53 and 55. That's where the majority of people are holding it. They haven't sold out. As these people start to sell out for a loss and you start to get people buying here, this one will start becoming more of a bigger support between 38 and 36. So I continue to say that technically it's got to move up, but natural gas is a commodity. Commodities have been hit. Commodities are going down. Natural gas in particular was selling for $9 per therm or whatever in June. It's now down around $5. That's where it wants to be, between $4 and $5. So, let me look. Lawful permanent residents of the U.S. must show the following documents for all: valid passport for the country, nationality, and a valid green card. Okay. Assuming yes. She's going to kill me. So yeah, Zephyr, from a just purely chart standpoint, it's got to move up. It's got to. But from a macroeconomic standpoint, it could still move down. So, okay, DRV. Yeah, let's go over DRV. And then I'm going freaking running. And I should still be on Do Not Disturb. I am. So here's DRV. So because these are triple levered, I tend to believe the long-term daily, weekly. I tend to believe them less. The shorter term is the chart that I tend to believe more. And the reason is because my timeline on those triple levers for holding them is usually less. But here's DRV. Now, here's what scares me about DRV. And I told you this on the podcast. This gap down here scares me. And I'm going to pull this back to a little bit more on DRV because I want to see the last time it traded in the 50s. This is where the majority of people are holding. You've got some support down here at 66. This level up here between 72 and 69, there's really not a lot there to support it. You can see it's kind of moving a little bit, but up here you do have some support level to kind of pull it up so that people are typically holding it. And they're probably holding it from this standpoint, October 13th. Let's see where it is today. Oh, Boyle just lost its run. Let's see where we are on Active Trader Pro. I'll switch over so you can see that. DRV's lost it. So you see you're trading at the bottom of the Bollinger Band. That MACD crossed down. That RSI is getting to about 38. This one, remember, this one doesn't trade a lot either. You've only got 1.1 million in the 10-day volume. You have 591,000 in the 90-day. So the volume level is there to bring it up. But that just means that, hey, yeah, it's been trading a lot. You're 2.63% down today. Meanwhile, SOXL continues its run. Let's look at SOXL. So, let's move back to Safari. Yeah, SOXL still has confirmation. I mean, look at that. We'll zoom in. Look at that. Still got confirmation above that 21 day. It's kind of touching the 9, but it's still in the upper level of that Bollinger Band. And the VWAP's still at 804. Now, look at the 10-day volume. 10-day volume is 160 million versus 84 million for 90-day volume. You got a lot of people who are interested in this one. And the reason is because it's been beaten up so much. But let's go back to Safari and I'll show you DRV. See DRV, it's right in the middle. And that the Bollinger Bands are syncing up. So the question is, which other indicator gives you a direction? Look at that. That MACD is kind of just moving down. It's moving away. As we move, as it continues to just sit there and stay, the MACD is moving down. So my indication on DRV is that it probably would move down. But that's what I said when it was up here, down here. That it was going to kind of move down. And I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. I said, Sal, you're going to get you out on October 18th. And then boom, it was up. So, okay, gents, ladies, hit the thumbs up. I'll be back on tomorrow. And I will let you know if there are any changes. Tune into the